Okay, the perfect storm. Triple H against Brock Lesnar, or should I say Brock Lesnar? the,
Brock Lesnar.
the most entertaining thing about this entire feud.
Just the way he rolls the R, it's like
Easily, I would sit there and watch Paul
listen to
Heyman do
that
that.
all day.
You broke his,
Brock.
you broke his arm.
Oh my God! You broke his arm.
Name calling. You got to resort to name calling. Oh my
Heyman's
god.
like Heyman's the he's the man for promos, man. He's awesome.
Easily though, I would easily sit there and watch him just cut a promo for this time period than rather watch that match again.
I didn't mind it, although it was entirely Triple H's ego that hurt the entire match because he didn't want to get taken down or punched like John Cena. He had to look just as big and strong as Brock, and that hurt the match
As who?
so. He had to be as big and strong as Brock. He couldn't be taken down. He couldn't be taken down and punched like Cena. No, he's Triple H.
Who is this Brock? I only know Brock.
Brock. Yeah, you know.
We're
Get
just
where you're
killing
going.
everybody's ears with the headphones right now.
Yeah. Lesnar. Anyway, that's what hurt the match because he wasn't willing to look weaker than Brock. He had to look just as strong as Brock, you know. So that's how we should just say Brock from the entire rest of the review. But you understand what I'm saying, right?
You mean
Like,
the entire rest of the time
yeah, Brock. Anyway,
WrestleMania we're still doing it.
that match worked because Lesnar with his MMA background, he kicked Cena's ass and dominated until Cena made his comeback. But I guess since Triple H wasn't booked to win, he couldn't get his ass kicked that bad or deal with it. So he tried to be just as much of an ass kicker, even though it didn't work as well. And all they did was work the arm because that was basically the only interesting story they could tell because Triple H didn't want to look like he was having his ass kicked.
Right.
And a lot of the action was decent. I love Lesnar's selling of the stomach. That was pretty brilliant. I must give them credit there.
That actually, a lot of people that I was watching the pay-per-view with, they actually thought that was
Thought he was legitimately hurt. Yeah, and I did too for a second until like he went on with the rest of the match. But yeah, that was brilliant selling. The working of the arm made a lot of sense from a psychology standpoint. So I can't bury that because it made sense from a storyline perspective. A lot of the action was hard hitting, but again, it was tainted because Triple H didn't want to look weaker than Brock and didn't want to have his ass kicked like Cena. And that's the match people were expecting to see. They were expecting to see something as brutal as Brock and Cena. They expected some bloodshed. I mean, this feud was 1,000 times more personal, and the match didn't come off that way. It came off as more sports entertaining, but still trying to be MMA. Whereas like Lesnar and Cena felt more like a shoot fight. You
right.
know?
Yeah, that
And
was much more entertaining than this. I mean,
yeah,
there's no
so people
question at all in my
and
mind.
that's people taint this match is because they tried to make it more sports entertaining, to save Triple H from looking weak or whatever, and it hurt the match very, very bad. And that's all I have to say, really. Like, if anything should have been built like a shoot fight, like Cena and Lesnar was, it was this feud. I mean, it got personal with the family. Yeah, Triple H had his arm broken in storyline. He had all the reason to try and. Well, I guess he did give him a nosebleed, but you understand what I mean for stiff shots, blood to be shed,
Right.
fight,
He
and it
needed
was
like
just
chair shots and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, more of a
Fight
last man
back.
standing kind of a situation.
Yeah, like just beat the shit out of each other. Use weapons. Like Cena and Lesnar against each other had less heat and they used more weapons in their match against one another. It was more brutal and it was way less personal. I mean, one big brawl going into the feud and then that was basically it.
Well,
That other than them being announced against each other, and these guys have like 4.5, 5 months of build to have a sports entertainment match with Lesnar working the arm Del Rio style.
well,
And
in the Cena match though, I think the storyline Bell was that Brock was hired to take Cena out, so
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
maybe that's why.
Yeah, I still think that, if that's enough reason for the match to be that brutal at Extreme Rules, and granted the pay-per-view's called Extreme Rules, you expect it to be extreme, but for a personal rivalry, like let's take a look at something like Triple H and Shawn Michaels from SummerSlam 10 years prior. Blood was, I know that's a different era, but blood was shed. It was
Hmm.
personal. It got brutal.
The boiler
And
room
that's
match.
and this is supposed to be brutal. It was supposed to be a fight. It was supposed to be vicious, and it was extremely sports entertaining. And Lesnar working the arm slowed things down a lot because half the match was him going for the Kimura. Seriously,
And
until
now
he,
Brock's gonna disappear again for God knows how long and
Another
reappear again.
up until Survivor Series again or something like that.
Survivor Series, and then if not, the earliest it'd probably be Royal Rumble. Either one of those two. We're not going to see him for the next 3 months at the least.
Mhm.
It could be longer than that. So the right man went over. I was expecting a pedigree to end the match,
Me too.
and when Lesnar no sold it and locked in the Kimura, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, awesome. And then Triple H tapped out, and the best was him trying to get sympathy, and half the crowd's chanting, "You tapped out."
Oh, I laughed so hard on that because
Awesome.
I wanted Brock Lesnar to win this, and it's
Yeah,
not like a pro Brock Lesnar thing. It's just
well,
booking
yeah,
booking
how do
standpoint. You have to do it.
you
You
book
know,
a shoot fighting, unpredictable ass kicker and have him lose twice and still look like a threat?
right? Because if you want to build up to him against Undertaker at WrestleMania or anything like
But
that,
we already
he
lost
needs to be a threat.
and Triple H, and now you expect us to buy in that he's supposed to beat this undefeated phenom at the place he's never been beaten before.
Right, especially because
Undertaker,
Undertaker has the gloves for it.
yeah, yeah, that too. But he already lost to Triple H and John Cena, and those guys don't even have a record like Undertaker's. How are we supposed to buy him as a threat against Undertaker if he can't even beat these guys at lesser shows?
Right, and
You
I'm
know, so
really glad that Triple H not only lost but he tapped out.
I would have been fine with just seeing an F5 and him getting pinned, but tapping out's even better because, hey, it's putting over that submission is deadly, and it broke that same arm again. Yeah, yeah.
I
Right.
would love seeing him get F5 for a table.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
let's do that
let's
anyway after the match.
let's
Just fucking do
okay.
it.
We're gonna tip over the Spanish announce table, and I'm gonna leapfrog and hit you with a punch to the face, a spot that looks rather ridiculous. But at least I can jump high. I didn't understand that, but it looked funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy this anywhere near as much as the John Cena match, and at the moment, that's the match that I have down as my match of the year: John Cena against Brock Lesnar. And this, I was expecting it to be worse, and lo and behold, it was right in my opinion.
The action was good at parts, but as I said, Triple H's ego definitely had something to do with him not taking as much of an ass kicking.
My favorite part of the whole thing actually was the pre-match introduction with the lighting.
Yeah, like they're doing some sort of put it over as a big, huge main event match.
Yeah, that was actually my favorite part of the entire thing. It went downhill right after they rang the bell and it started.
Some of the near falls were pretty exciting. Like seeing Lesnar kick out of a pedigree is awesome because I didn't want him to get pinned by one. And I thought a lot of the working the arm made sense. Like when he bent his arm over his back and smashed him off the table, and a lot of stuff worked from a psychology standpoint, but it just wasn't as exciting as it should have been, and that's ultimately what hurt it in the end because Triple H wasn't willing to take a few brutal shots to the face. So that hurt the
Yeah.
entire match. They couldn't brawl, or if they could, it was just sports entertainment shots back and forth, and not the brawling that we seen 5 months ago. So I enjoyed it, but good old Triple H's ego hurt the match for me, and that's my stance. That's my final thought on it. It
I
fell
thought it was
short of extreme rules.
I thought it was good, but he needed an F5 instead of the submission moves.
Yeah, or a brutal F5, like at least outside or through an announce table or
An F6. Step it up a notch.
yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, you F5 him from one announce table and he flies spinning through another. Anything or any sort of table spot would have done. You use your sledgehammer. That's your trademark weapon, and you don't even use it in your most personal rivalry of the year. Yet you use it against Undertaker, a man you didn't even want to face. and he goaded you into facing him anyway, and you hate him more that you use, the sledgehammer 3,000 times on him, but you can't use it on Brock Lesnar, a guy who broke your arm and who you wanted to fight so bad, Brock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just hope if it does come down to Undertaker and Brock, that Undertaker does not have that mohawk.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
He needs to borrow the wig from Kane.
Even emphasis on it. He'll shave even more around and let it grow out.
Dye it a different color. He'll just spike it up like Zack Ryder.
He's going to end up looking like Bully Ray in hairstyle. I mean, he's almost already there anyway, so.
I hope he gets his calves.
Yeah.
Well, that is it then for the SummerSlam talk. And all that's left to do right now is talk about the little plugs of our own.
Yeah, sure. I'm always up for plugging my YouTube account. That's www.youtube.com/Spoodbeast, spelling SPOODBEST. And I might be getting into making some more wrestling videos. It's mainly a video game updating account. That's what most of my fan base is known for, and they complain whenever I derive from the norm. I update on various different games. Like recently, I've been doing PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale and Super Smash Bros. 4 updates. Any viewership is good. So hope to see you all later, and hopefully in future episodes of this, because this is always fun.
You might remember that PlayStation Battle Royale part where Spyro the Dragon almost got eliminated and then Ric Flair tossed him over the edge and won.
Yeah, that one. Or could have been Cena with like an attitude adjustment or whatever.
Right.
Either one will work.
Jeff?
No, I don't really have any plugs or
any kind of projects or anything like that going on right now?
Not really.
All right, well, check him out in the comments then for Smack Talk. And remember, everybody, that we have the Sign Me Up initiative going on. If you bring a Smark Out Moment sign to any kind of a wrestling event, be it something on the Independents or WWE, and I'm including TNA and the Independents there. A little shout out to CM Punk.
Don't let Kurt Angle hear you, though.
Right, yeah. Bring a sign for any of that and take a picture or video, send it to me, and I'll throw you out on the show. Just similar as for my little references out there for the people that tweet and all that kind of stuff. Anything that helps me out and stuff, I appreciate it a whole lot. And same applies to Jeff doing the show tonight and Braden coming back and everything. Really appreciate it. Smark Out Moments made a whole lot better when everybody kind of participates and all that. So thank you to everybody who is involved and all that kind of stuff. And that should be it for episode 43. This has been another Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out. See you next time, everybody.
5, 2,
Flip off the bird into the camera, and I'll be thrown out of the crowd. PG's not allowing this. Kevin Dunn's pissed. Yeah, it's time I'm having to go. It's time I'm closing the show. I'ma end this my way. It's my way or the outro.